Oh, good morning, everybody. How are you? Happy Tuesday, February 2nd. Another day in paradise in beautiful Las Vegas. I'm so excited to be here today. Let's see. Well, what's going on? Condos, single family homes, townhomes, only 3,637 available. That's scary, everybody. That's 0.94 months of inventory. Last month we sold 3,265 townhomes, single family homes and condos. So, oh my goodness. Hi, Karen. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you. Yeah, everybody, the inventory, it just scares me half to death. Jesus Louise. Let's see. Let's get my show act together here. And over here we go. Good morning. Good morning. See you at the office today. Yes, love Las Vegas. Woohoo! All right, and there's Miss Claudia. Claudia, how are you? Good to see you. And my goodness. So just real quick, because I want to show a little a video, which is really done by a pro on open houses. And this is a time to do it because we've got so many buyers coming. And we put 132 under contract yesterday. That's unbelievable. But we listed 149. So that's a little bit, that makes me a little happy. Last year in February, the 1st and 2nd happened to be a Saturday and Sunday. So there were no closings except the ones that were carryovers from January. So we have 69 closings so far, and right up there it is, and 6 last year. So that number will change, though. Probably the next couple of days, we'll see really what the trend is between last year and this year. And good morning, good morning. Good to see you. I bet that's Leslie. Oh, well, I have to say we had a great class yesterday, and it was ethics. And did you cross the line? It is such a wonderful class, and I keep saying this. The one thing about Jimmy Dague and I is that we bring today into the class. In other words, what's happening today in our market? Lots of things are happening in our market today. One of the big things is the multiple offers, and if you're taking listings, we recommend that you ask the seller in the listing to agree to letting you share the price of any offers with other agents. And this, I think, community over competition is what I would tagline this, just like Aaron Mills does, is because if your buyers aren't going to come in at what the highest offer is already, we're wasting everybody's time unless there's really something special about the deal. Like maybe the seller wants to lease back for a month or two, and you do have a buyer that would allow that. So that might take some precedent over a couple $1,000s. So you have to think and ask the right questions when you're the buyer's agent and you're talking to the listing agent. And it's time saving. And in this market, when things are moving so fast, you don't want to frustrate your buyers any more than they're going to be frustrated because you're going to say, look, we've got offers at 300 and you're coming in at 290. Unless you want to up your offer, there's no point that we go through this process, and that will save you time, energy, and money, and the seller time, energy, and money, the listing agent, and the buyer. So think about that. Think about communicating. We need to get back to communicating with each other on a very friendly basis. And not that most people don't, but I know there's some people that don't. Everybody thinks this is a competitive thing. Well, it is to a degree. And that's why the antitrust people are in after us, because we're competing with the person that's paying us. So anyway, that's another story. We talked about that a little bit yesterday, but please, try to get your sellers to agree to let you, or you understand the fact how important it is going forward in this type of a market. Just wanted to reach out and tell everybody that today. And the other thing that I want to emphasize today, I know there's a lot of new agents out there. And we say a couple things that we have a sheet of paper and it's called a duties owed. It's called the disclosure. The disclosure to your client of what your duties are to them. And the number one thing it says, the number one thing on that duties owed is that you have to present the duties owed before you start representing that person in a deeper way other than I'm sending you listings or whatever. When someone starts to get serious with you and you become their agent, before you put anything in writing, everybody, you have to get the duties owed signed. It's the law. It's the law. And it's such an important part of the law. And I think we discovered yesterday in our own office, I'll share this with you, that we go up and we always look at the transaction desk and we look to see if someone has put in, all the documents they need in order to get paid. But along the way, we don't know if you signed the duties owed, because guess what? The broker doesn't have to sign that duties owed. So the broker's not aware, because he doesn't have to sign it, whether or not you got your client to sign it. And I'm here to tell everybody and that you've got to get the agency disclosure signed before you put anything in writing. So it's critical. And I would recommend, before you take people out, they sign the duties owed. And there's a lot of horror stories about people that didn't do it and something happened during showing homes and one thing and another. It's implied agency already because you're going to take them out. So you have got to get the duties owed signed. I don't want to preach, but I mean, as a broker, it is so critical. And I understand when you do a rental, that's a referral, and you're getting a flat fee. It's a referral. But when you are representing the person who's going to be paying the money and you're going to be writing that offer, okay, you didn't write up you don't normally you normally don't argue with lease amount, right? So you're not representing the client in that. And if the client wants to do that, that's up to the client. But on a rental, it is a referral. On a sale or a listing, you all represent the buyer or the seller, or sometimes both. And that's when you have to do the consent to act. Anyway, very important. But let's get off that for a minute. And we want to talk about open houses today. See if I can get the first one, the right one first. I need to put a suggestion into BeLive that they show us the name of the file, which they don't do right now. So I'm just picking a file here I can see it, but I don't know what the name of it is. So come on up there. So we're going to watch this little video, and this is Brian Buffini doing a brief 3-minute open house. He's going to show us. Let's make sure I got the right. See if I got the right.
Come on in.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to mute myself, everybody. We're going to watch Brian Buffini welcome someone into an open house. See what he does in the beginning, in the midway, and then at the end. The end is where the strategy is really important. So here we go.
Folks. Welcome.
Hello.
Here's the flyer on the property.
Thank you.
For security purposes, could I have you sign into our guest book today?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks so much. You guys have been taking a look around at some open houses?
Yeah, a couple places.
Yeah, fun thing to do on a Sunday afternoon.
There you go.
That's great. Heath and Gina?
Yeah.
I'm Brian. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
So I have a couple other folks looking through, so I'm going to catch up with them to see if they have any questions. Okay. But take your time, look around. We have a really cool master bedroom suite upstairs, and and I'll try to catch up to you by the time you get there, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thanks a million.
Thank you.
All right. Hey guys, you found everything okay so far?
Yeah.
Great. Any questions for me at all?
No?
Okay. So as I mentioned to you when you came in, this is really one of the big features of this home. And it's a real master bedroom suite. So we have obviously an oversized bedroom. We have a fireplace right here. Right behind these pictures, we actually have all the electrical work and everything done for a plasma screen with surround sound in the ceilings and on the walls, okay? And down the hall here, it's a real treat. We have his and her closets, his and her sinks, his and her toilets. We have a jacuzzi tub and an oversized shower. So come check that out. I think you'll really like this.
So that showed you Brian welcoming the people in. Very casual, you know, for security reasons, please sign. And he had a little iPad so that whatever program he's using, that goes right into his CRM when they sign in. So let's watch the second part. Looks like the internet's a little spotty today. Don't know why, but we'll see if we can't get this rolling. Come on, come on. Come on up there, please. Come up. Oh. Let's get rid of that one. Maybe that'll help. Yeah, open houses. Now, what we saw on Saturday, Aaron Mills gives people a brochure. And I don't know why this one isn't coming up there. Come on. There we go. Okay. So Aaron Mills gives them a brochure when they come in and then invites them to look around after they have signed in. So let's see what happens here. And I might just stay on the screen to see if I can't help this along.
Well, thanks for touring the home today, guys. Do you have any questions for me?
Not really.
Great. Okay. Let me ask you, have you been looking around a lot?
We've been to quite a few open houses.
Yeah. You know, looking at open houses is kind of like looking at the tip of an iceberg. What's actually on the market is like the rest of the iceberg below the waterline.
Yeah, that's interesting. We've actually had a bit of trouble finding something in our price range that kind of checks all the boxes for
Okay.
us.
Do you know your price range? Have you been pre-qualified with a lender?
No, not yet.
Okay. Are you working with a realtor at this time?
No, not really.
No, that's not unusual. Let me ask you this. Do you have a home to sell or are you currently renting?
No, we're renting, but just getting killed on the taxes.
Yep, that'll happen. Well, we can help you with that. You know what? I have a couple of resources you guys might be interested in. First of all, I have what I call a hot sheet,
Come on, Brian.
which is all the new listings in this area, all the properties that have been reduced into this price range that you might find interesting. The rest of that iceberg, if you will.
Yeah, yeah.
I also
Come
have
on,
this resource
Brian.
called a buyer questionnaire.
think
And this
this-
really helps people get clarity on what they're looking for in a home. So I can send you this resource. You download it, maybe print up 2 copies. You fill out yours, you fill out yours, and then compare. And it'll really help you find out,
Come on.
this is what we're really looking for. This is what's really important to us. Would you like that?
Yeah, I think
Definitely,
so.
yeah.
Super. When you came in, did you put your email address or your phone number on
No.
your logbook? Okay, so on your way out, no problem. Just put your email, put your phone number in.
Okay.
I'll send you the hot sheet. I'll send you the buyer questionnaire. I'll follow up with you right away and get you guys on your way, kind of looking for homes a little bit more efficiently. Sound good?
Yeah, great.
Super. Well, listen, it was real nice meeting you guys today. Good luck with your home search, and I'll follow up with you real soon.
Really appreciate it, Brian.
Thanks for
Yeah.
coming.
All right, thanks.
When you came in, did you put your email address or your phone number?
No.
So he's going to ask him to do that.
So on your way out, no problem. Just put your email, put your phone number in.
Okay.
I'll send you the hot sheet. I'll send you the buyer questionnaire. I'll follow up with you right away and get.
Okay, sorry for the echo, but that's because, hi, Leslie, thanks for telling me that. But whoops, let's recap it real quick. Let's get rid of that. Yes, thank you, Brian. That was great. Anyway, a little bit of internet bandwidth problem there, but let's talk about this because this is really good. So he comes in, people come in and he hands them something. If you were Aaron Mills, you give them a brochure, which is really good, and then ask them to sign. You know, you give them something, then they sign. Give, ask. So they sign the whatever it is with their name, and it says email and phone number on there. You're not sure if they did it yet, but it's not going to make a big deal about it at this point. You just want to know that they put their name there. And he says, for security reasons, please fill this out. So hopefully they are going to do the email and phone number. So then you ask them to look through the house, and then you catch up with them because you give them some time. And I'm sure Brian did have somebody else in the house that he wanted to check on. But even if he didn't, I think he would say, well, you go on upstairs and I'll be with you in a minute. So anyway, he comes up after they've had some time to just kind of break the ice a little bit. They go upstairs, they look around. Now, he shows them some features about that house. And I don't know if you heard this, but one of the features was they have a his and her bathroom. I mean, totally separate bathrooms in the master suite, which one of our agents said, yes, in Las Vegas, it's a primary. Yes, it's a primary bedroom. Absolutely correct. So anyway, in the primary bedroom, they have his and her toilets, his and her sinks, his and her closets, and that's the main feature. Now, you know, you have to figure out what's the main feature that you can kind of just bring up to people that they might not know. Gourmet kitchen, all kinds of things, lots of storage in the garage, something that's really special about that house. And you know that. Why? Because you've researched the other houses that are on the market and you know what makes this house special. And when you pick an open house, you know, you want to pick one that has a location, a good location. You want to pick a home where there's some activity. I just mentioned to you yesterday that Red Rock had 40 listings at the beginning of January last year, now has 14. Lots of activity in here, you know, so it's a very active market, which means people want it. So find a market that's active, okay? So you're going to do location and price and activity. And then you're going to have a brochure. Then you're going to pick out something special about this house that you know, you want to do open houses where there's where you're going to get activity because of some of the special features, which if you advertise on social media and you do your video, much like Claudia did. Claudia, you did a great video about your open house. I kind of did a virtual one before, and then you invited people to come to see the whole house. I thought that was great strategy. And I think the day that you did it, there was Super Bowl playoffs that day. There was something going on that day, and I don't think you got a lot of visitors, and that happens, you know. But use that time, like Aaron said, to do other things. Do a story about the house. You do another video about the house because everybody's not watching it when you put it on to begin with. So don't be dismayed if a lot of people don't always show up. And the funny thing is, the next day, 6 people showed up. So you know you don't know. Then at the end, I want to talk about the end for just a minute, because the end, he says, you know, this is the tip of the iceberg. In other words, he asked him, have you been looking at a lot of open houses? Well, yeah, we've been going to many open houses. And did you find something? Well, not yet in our price range. Well, he says, well, that's because this is just the tip of the iceberg. You haven't seen all the other homes that are available that might meet your criteria. And he says, by the way, have you been with a lender yet? Yes or no? Okay, fine. And have you been working with another realtor? You got to stick that in somewhere, right? Okay, they said no. Goes on. And then, do you have a home to sell? No, we're renting and the taxes are really killing us. They said, well, yeah, of course. And Brian said, yeah, the home ownership will help you in that regard. he says, by the way, I know you've been looking at a lot of open houses. If you want me to hone in, I have a hot sheet, and I will send you homes that you want to see. And then you can and then you can see the homes that are available in your price range or that have the amenities that you want. So he preps them with that. And he says, so I'm going to send you a questionnaire. You each fill it out because you might discover that you want different things. And this helps you come to a conclusion of what you really want. And I thought that was really a really good idea. That's something I've never heard before. But I liked it. And he says, and you fill it out. He says, and then send it to me. And then I will start sending you homes that meet the criteria based on your questionnaire. So he's giving, that's a strategy, everybody. That's a strategy. Here's someone that's going the extra mile to help these people find a home. Now, if they're looky-loos and they're not serious, it doesn't matter. They're not going to share any information with you anyway. But if they're serious, they will. So the part of the strategy in open houses is getting people that are really serious and that want to work with you. And I thought, he was giving good information. He was asking the right questions, but it was very conversational. It didn't seem scripted. So that's very important. The questionnaire is really good. I love Buffini. I think what he's doing now during the pandemic, he told us that he was going to his studio. He was doing videos. And of course, that was probably 2 actors, probably not a live situation, but it was acted by the script, but probably came from live situations. And it seemed pretty normal to me. The internet is really wonky today. That hasn't happened to me in a long time. Anyway, so I think that watch this a couple times. I have, and I like the end. I like the order in which he asks the questions, and then what he has to offer. And oh, by the way, did you put your email address and phone number there so I can communicate with you? Because a lot of times, people don't do that. We mentioned that in the beginning. They might just put their name there, but now you're asking them again. But now you're going to give them value so they have a reason to give you that information. So y'all may all know this. You might not be into open houses, but I'm here to tell you the people that do this consistently increase their business. Sam Coleman, he's been on my show. He was let's see, let me get October, November, December of 2019. My gosh, time flies. He said, he committed in a class that we had. He says, I am going to do 90 open houses in the next 90 days. He did, and resulted in double-digit closings in that time period from those open houses. But he was consistent. He followed a pattern. He upped his price point too. He didn't necessarily do the things that are flying off the market. Why? Because they're flying off the market. So now we see that the price point, there's more homes selling in the higher price ranges. So you might want to rethink doing open houses. And I really believe it takes at least 10 days before an open house to really prepare. I think you need to send postcards to the neighborhood. I think, and I know that's not cheap. Maybe just do the street, maybe just do a couple streets because postcards are expensive. 50 cents is probably the minimum. And you don't need to do the big fancy ones either. You can just do a little one. Oh, there's an open house down the street. Maybe we should go see it. And it really gets the momentum going because they might know somebody who wants to move to their neighborhood. They might have family or friends and they want to move to their neighborhood. So that is a great way to start an open house. And I would do it 10 days before the open house. Now, most places anymore, they don't allow soliciting. So you can't just go and put flyers on the doors, although you can knock on doors in some places. And again, you have to be careful if there's no soliciting, but they have to say no soliciting. And I haven't seen that many places in Las Vegas that do that. There's a couple, but not many. So you can actually, and I know Sam does this, so he'll go knock on the door and give him a flyer and say, hey, come to my open house. And, he'll have his mask on. He said it's going to be all in the COVID guidelines. here's the information about the house if you can't come to the open house. So that's the prep work that you have to do and if you do it consistently, and then maybe because you're planning ahead, like Sam did, you say, this is where I'm doing my next open house if you're not available this weekend. Now, what does that say if that person's thinking of selling their house? Wow, this gentleman is, he's creating, they know what, he's got a good marketing plan. He's doing open houses. Maybe we want him to sell our house. So you're getting the buyers, but you're also getting the sellers if you do it right. And then after the open house, there's the 5, 5, and 5. You take the 5 people to the left, the 5 people to the right, the 5 people across the street, and you send them something. You've got their addresses. You can look them up while you're sitting in that open house and write a personal note or make a label, put your information in there. And maybe you're going to offer them something special if they want to sell their house. Now, what we used to do, and we haven't done this lately because we're not doing open houses like we used to, but when we were doing real estate and doing more than 8 or 9 deals a month, we would send them and this is probably why we did 8 or 9 deals a month, right? Because we did these things. So anyway, so we would send them this little letter that said, I just held the open house. This is part of my marketing, and I have an out in my contract that says if you don't like what I'm doing for you, you can cancel it at any time. Now, maybe your broker won't let you do that. We let people do that. Hey, if you don't want to work with me, that's fine. I'll go elsewhere. But that draws people's attention. It did more to draw people's attention than anything else. And they would say, hey, we got your letter. We're thinking of selling our house. What do you think? So there's many ways to make that open house more than just about the 3 or 4 hours that you're sitting in it. So time to go today. See you tomorrow, and have a great day, and go sell some houses. I love you all. Bye-bye.